Hey everybody, this is Mr. Dunn with another Photopia lesson. This is going to be a little fun lesson. We're going to make a photo montage. So this is what I've done already and gives you an idea what it's going to end up looking like. So first challenge you need is to go take some photos. So if you don't have photos on your computer, why don't you go get your phone or tablet or if you have an actual camera and take some photos. Now if you have photos, you see, I like to have a theme, so you can take photos of your family and do a nice little photo montage of your family. Or if you see here, this is a volleyball season, so this is all sports themed. So if you can do a theme, it just makes sense, and that's why you want to do a random photo montage. I mean, you can do what you want, but it makes the whole of a project that much better if you can have a theme to it. All right, so once you get your photos, you need to set up a folder on your computer and put all those photos in there. I say take 10, 20, or more even photos, so you have something to choose from. Because sometimes you only take a few photos and you got to try to make them work, and it doesn't quite look right. So we're going to start. So you're going to go to photopia.com and start a new project. So we're going to go File to New. This is a little different. We're not going to go to Open this time. And when you do, we're going to start a new project. You want to name it. All right, so this project we're going to name Fun Montage. Okay, then the width of the projects. Right now it says pixels, px. If you click on that, go down and change that to inches. And we're going to make this 10 by 8. So we'll highlight that number and just type in 10. And I'll press enter. And then the height is going to be 8. The reason I chose 10 by 8 is that's a normal photo size. So if you want to print this at like a Walgreens, CVS, wherever you print your photos, you can get this printed out when you're all done and put it in a frame. And the frames are standard size. 8 by 10 is a standard size frame. All right, the dots per inch is a resolution. Just leave it alone. That's usually set up for the internet. So if you want to post it on your Instagram page or anything like that, you can post it on that. It's perfectly fine. For professional photos, they set that to around 300. Background is going to be white. Just leave that alone. And right here it says Create. Go ahead and click Create. All right, so when you start off, it's just plain. And there's the background. So I'm going to put my first photo in here. So this time I'll go File. And instead of Open, I want to go down to Open and Place. If you select Open, it's going to open a brand new project. We don't want to do that. Open Place is going to open our picture and place it in this project. So once I click on that, all right, the most important thing you can do is learn how to save things. This says Desktop, it says Downloads, it says Documents, it says Pictures. It doesn't really matter to me where you save it, but as long as you know where it's at. So on my desktop, I created a new folder and I named it Montage Project Photos. So you can name it whatever you want, and I know my photos are there. So I'm going to pick a photo and click Open. And what I like about this, it scales it automatically to fit in here, because some of my photos are very large. They would be really big, and I just shrink them down. Sometimes you get a photo and it's small, and you got to size it up, and it looks pixelized. It's got little squares. All right, so if I want to scale this, right here I can grab that box in the corner. But you want to hold your Shift key down. If you hold the Shift key down, then click and drag, it will scale it equally. If you don't hold the Shift key down, you end up squishing it, which you don't want to do. Now that distorts it. I'm going to click this X to cancel that, but if you like what you did, click the check mark to confirm, or you can press the Enter key. I'm going to click No, because I'm going to do something different. You'll notice over here on my layer, this is my photo. It's a little tiny box, so it's kind of like a smart object, and that's something we're not going to get into today, but we want to get rid of that. So if I right-click in this photo in here, and I'm going to select Rasterize. I need to do that for what I'm about to do next, otherwise it'll cause problems later. So you might have to do that. If you don't see that little box, then you may not have to do that. Alright, so I'm going to select this tool underneath. This is my Move tool. Underneath it is my Rectangle Select tool. And I'll also call it a Rectangle Marquee tool, is another term for it. I've got on my photo, your photos are all going to be different. So my photo, I have this space. I don't need that. This is not important. So a cropping tool is over here too. That's another thing you can crop. But when you crop it, if you don't do it correctly, you'll crop the whole project. So I'm just going to try a little different today. I'm going to click and hold my mouse and drag around the part I want. All right, I don't need to get all the way down the feet. Right about there. And I do want a little space around. I don't like to chop their heads or get too close to them. And then I'll chop this off down here. That's fine. That's not important. Once I get it selected, I want to duplicate that selection. So you see I'm on the photo layer. That's important. Make sure you're on the correct layer. I'll press Control J. So hold the Control key down. If you're on a Mac, it's a Command key. Control or Command J. And over here, you see it duplicated it. And if I turn this eyeball off, that's what I did. Normally, it doesn't look like I did anything, but you can see it here. Now I want to click on my original layer. I don't need it anymore. So I'll click on this trash can. It'll delete that. Now I only have this layer with my photo. Now it says layer 1. I'm going to go ahead and label it. You label yours however you see fit. Okay, and you want to make sure because you're going to have a lot of photos. So I do that just to make it easier for me. So now I'll get my move tool at the top and I click in the middle and I can drag this anywhere I want. So you pick a spot you think it looks good, and I want to leave a little edge around the top and the bottom, about like that, so it looks like a photo edge. So you can just kind of place it where you think. This is temporary. We're going to move these around probably. It's just trial and error right now. Okay, so now I'm going to get my next photo, and you're going to keep doing this until you get all your photos you want to use. And sometimes you'll get too many photos, and then you'll have to just delete some. But you can just bring in as many photos as you think you might use. And if you need to crop off or cut off parts of it, go ahead and do that. Like you see these people, I don't want them in there. I don't need this, so I'm going to do the same with this. And I'm going to do that for every photo. I'm going to cut off what I don't need, keep what I want, and then delete that extra photo. So again, I'm going to right click on this, rasterize, do that to every photo if that comes up. Once again, I grab my rectangle tool. Now, if you happen to do something like I chopped them off and I messed up, I can move this around a little bit, but I can also click outside of it and I can draw it again. So get kind of what you want. And then Control J will duplicate it. I'm going to click on the photo below it, the original. I'm deleting that. Now, I can also drag this into the trash can, or I can press my delete key to get rid of it. Okay, so I've gotten my photos in here. Now I've got to kind of arrange them. So if you want them to be perfectly aligned, you can do that, scale them, and get them nice and straight. If you have one photo covering another one, you can arrange them and bring them to the front. So this one here, I want it to be in the front. So that's at my bottom. So if you look at your layers are in order, just like a stack of papers. So this one's on top, that's underneath, this is at the bottom of the pile. So if I want to take this photo and put it at the top of the pile, I just click and drag it up. Now it's on top of everything. So that's important with layers, how to understand that. And what I'm going to do with this one, this is when I'm going to get more creative, and this is when I rotate. So Control Alt T will select it. And then I move my cursor out until I see two curved arrows. Don't click before you see that. Then you click and hold. And then you can rotate your photos. So I'm going to rotate this one. So it's important which way I rotate. If I rotate this way, it covers more of the picture up there. So I'm going to rotate it this way. So it all depends on your photo. And I want to make this a little bit smaller. So hold Shift key down and drag it down just a little bit. And I'll drag this down. Now I can drag it down, but there's a person down here. I don't want to cover her face. Okay, and then I'll press Enter on my keyboard or click that check mark to confirm it. Next, I'm going to adjust this photo a little bit bigger. So you got to find what layer it's on. And I just went kind of quick here, but so I didn't label all my layers, but this is my layer here. And I'm going to be on, so this is Spike. So you can label your layers. Again, double click on that word. And Control Alt T. And again, I'm going to adjust this one. I want the edges to be fairly equal at the top, left and right. And then hold my Shift. And it's okay if this overlaps just a little bit. I'm okay with that. Alright, so that's what I have for now. Press Enter to accept. Okay, next, click on your top layer. So once you get all your photos done, you got them where you want, I want to have a little space down here to put a title. So it's up to you if you want to put a title or not, but for this one, it's important because this was a championship season. So my text tool, to put text on it, I'll get my text tool. But first, I'm going to get my rectangle marquee tool or rectangle select tool. And I'm going to make a brand new layer. So click on your top layer, whatever the top layer is, click on it, select it. Then go down by your trash can to the left. This little tool, this is your new layer tool. If I click once on it, it makes a new blank layer. Okay, this is going to be my title background. And I'll put that in there. And then I'll get my rectangle tool. So I'm going to draw a little banner basically at the bottom. Now I do have a little concern at the bottom because I've got this person is going to be covered, but since her back is there, she's not in the photo much, I'm not going to worry too much about that one. So again, you got to kind of play around with that. Then I want to fill it with a color, and over here are your colors. So this is a foreground and background. So if you want a different color, you have a color picker, you click on that once and you pick whatever you want. Since their colors are kind of a blue, I'm going to stick with their colors. And then you're going to fill it. So you go edit to fill, edit to fill. And it's going to be set for foreground color, and that's what that is. Click OK. All right. The other thing you can do is the opacity. When I'm on that same layer, I can make it so it fades so I can see through a little bit. That's something you can do if you want to. I'll bring it down just a little bit. Now I'm just going to click anywhere in a blank area. Okay, there's my title background. Next, I'm going to put my text. So click on your letter T. The letter T on my toolbar is my text tool. And then up here, if you click on this down arrow, it sometimes takes a little bit to load. You can scroll down. You have lots of cool fonts. So the one I chose was Distant Gallery. You can pick whatever you'd like. So it's kind of go with the theme. And then what I do is I draw a box. So I'm going to click and drag the mouse and draw where I want to type. And then let go. And if it messes up, click the X and try it again. And then you want to get your size correct. And then I'm just going to type in. Did I spell it right? All right, so this is black, which is a dark background, so I don't want black, I want it white. So if it happens to be the wrong color, if you highlight it, this time at the top, see up here it's black. You can click on that, then you can pick the color of your text. I want it to be white. Click OK. Make sure you highlight it, and then it changed it. And then I'm going to center it, and then click the check mark, and there's my title. Now if you want the title to be bigger, there's a couple ways to do it. One, you can highlight it and change the size. The other way, if I press Control-Alt-T, you get those size boxes. I'll hold my shift, and I can actually make it a little bit bigger that way, and this way too. I don't want to stretch it though, so I want to try to get that corner. Just like that. And there you go. All right, have fun with that. And then the final thing is saving. And I see I put 2019 and 10. That should be 2019, 20. So I'm just kind of rushing here, trying to get all this in because it's a time limit. Okay, so saving. This is really, really important. So there's two things we're going to do. If I want to work on this again, I can keep this as a template and come back and use it and put different photos in it. So I want to save my project. I go File to Save as PSD. That stands for Photoshop Document. You will not be able to open this on your computer, but you can open it in Photopea. So you can save it in your folder or make a folder for your projects and save it as a Photoshop document, PSD. All right, then you can name it and do all that. We're going to export this project as a JPEG because this is what I want you to do. When you're finished, you're going to export this as a JPEG, JPG. This is a photo file. Okay, and when you do that, you'll get a setting. Just leave that alone. Click Save. and you'll see it down at the bottom of my screen.